All right, a very good morning to you, and thank you so much for keeping it NBS Television. This is the topical discussion as we get to bring you up to speed with what's happening in and around the country. Lest you forget, we are in the campaign season. The members of parliament are campaigning. The presidential candidates are also campaigning. But amidst that conversation is still a number of petitions before the Electoral Commission that are yet to be disposed of. As of last week press time, we had about 70% of most of those petitions disposed of, and others were still pending. How fast will this be taken out? But also, because of such petitions that did come through, we've had some candidates disqualified, and thus that did give a rise to unopposed candidates who by now should just be waiting for a swearing in at the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. With me, definitely we'll be having this conversation taken into context. We will be joined by different panelists, but with me here is none other than Professor Rogers Bargayomwe, who is a political analyst who will be taking us into a deep dive, but we will also be expecting to speak to the Electoral Commission spokesperson, that is none other than Julius Muchunguzi, I beg your pardon, and also are expecting Honorable Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi, who is the president of a National Unity Platform within the Buganda or Central region. Professor Rogers, it's a pleasure having you, and a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mildred, and a good morning to our viewers. I'm happy to be here again.
Pleasure, happy to have you as well here. And what are you looking up to in this election? What developments are you seeing, surprises and those that are the normal that you did expect?
I don't see any surprises as here, and I told you that this is like what we call AI election. It was predetermined. The results I gave them, and we expect to see them in that range. Then the players did to manipulate a lot, like to contain some of the key figures in the NUP, like Mufumbira, because they knew these are people who are vibrant, who would take them on in this season. So everything was set beside, and of course, one of the very popular candidates to me, Dr. Besigye, being in prison. So to me, this election is an AI election. It is known, the results are known. I told you that we don't expect it to be as violent as the past one, and what I predicted is what is taking place.
Well, unfortunately, most of the predictions are not on the positive end. But ladies and gentlemen, as I did say, we have Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi with us here, and of course on the other side, not just as a candidate but also as a candidate representing a political party that has fronted a presidential candidate. A very good morning to you, Honorable Chivumbi.
Good morning, Mildred. Good morning, viewers. Professor,
pleasure. Nice
to meet you again.
Pleasure.
I don't remember the last time I was here with you.
Okay, but we're back with you together. Yes. What is transpiring in the election per se for you on the lens as a participant, not as a candidate just alone, but also as a political party that is participating in the election?
First of all, let me, on behalf of my party,
okay,
thank all Ugandans of all walks of life. Wherever we've gone, at least we've been to every part of the country now. Central, Western, Eastern, Northern. We have had a footing there. And also give it to our candidate, because he's fairly young and energetic. Yeah. He hasn't literally had a day to rest. It's been a marathon through districts and through long distances. We've had to deal with one, of course, this whole thing of compacting an election, a country-wide election, in just a matter of days. Okay, let me not even call months, whereby a president...
It's always been about a 90-day campaign period.
But you have 100 and, is it 39, 44 around districts. You have about 500 constituencies, both women and direct, to canvass for. So a presidential candidate doesn't even have a single day in each district. So you have to literally stamp 2 districts a day. It's a tall order. It's actually a drive-through. It's actually a drive-through. Hardly do you have time to gather people, speak well. Then we have to deal with the question of venues became an issue, where now the venues, because we were handed over, the Electoral Commission handed over the determination of venues to RDCs. RDCs who are partisan. So they were selecting I remember one that was in Riantonde, okay? For all purposes and purposes, it was deep in the mountain, somewhere 20 kilometers away from Riantonde town is where you send a candidate where there are no people. So, and that has been everywhere, where there are venues that are easily accessible, venues that a candidate can easily go to, they were denied.
Okay.
Then you had to deal with the jamming, unknown to you. Every campaign venue of a candidate, you have to beat the jammer to simply be on TikTok, simply be on live, on Facebook Live. They put there a jammer to ensure still they limit your reach. But then you also had to deal with, for us, whereby a great number of our cadres today are languishing in prison on offenses, driving without a license. I mean, it's incredible. You lay a whole convoy and pick up people, so you have no traffic license, you have abused the traffic, and you do that kind of thing. So intimidation and brutality. Today, what is emerging, the professors may not know. One, all across many countries, they are changing returning officers. They profile them, given the task they want to give that particular electoral area in terms of what they expect the returning officer to do. When they profile you, you are solid, you are principled, you will be pushed to another district. So the profiling.
That an allegation? What directly points to that?
For me, I can tell you in my district, they've changed DSOs, they've transferred RDCs, they have transferred.
It could be a routine because they're not permanent RDCs or returning officers.
Returning officers, even returning officers at sub-counties have been profiled, and you know, others, for them, they're kicked out, actually. At sub-county level, you are not transferred. You are simply kicked out. Say,
okay.
You are no longer a returning officer. So they are trying to do this. The RDCs and the intelligence is profiling and drawing up a long list of people to pound on. They are putting up trumped-up charges. I have a counselor, okay, today who has been called to go to police, Mabingo, somewhere. It's because some candidates feel he has mobilized the sub-counties so well, so you need to eliminate him. So you are dealing with those kind of situations.
All right, not an easy one for you.
Give it as is. What these professors may not know, and I don't know whether you've studied the audience, is the determination of young people to regain their destiny and shape the future of their country.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Chivumbi. Quite unfortunate. It seems a tough one for you, not just as a candidate, but as political parties as well. Let's go to the gist of the conversation, which is about the most recent declarations, unopposed candidates, disqualifications coming through at a point in time where we would have thought that there was due diligence done to ensure that if Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi is duly nominated, or if Rogers Bargayomwe is duly nominated, it is a done deal, only to find out later that it is not the case. For Professor Rogers, let me start with you particularly. What do you see behind these disqualifications? What do you see behind these unopposed declarations now that are much more than we were seeing in the past?
Yeah, like I told you, it's a predetermined election whereby government said instead of its public image being damaged, let them use these stunts like Honorable Chivumbi was talking about. Why do they, for example, change RDCs? Because these RDCs, when they stay in the community, they get familiar, however radical they were for the NRA, but they get familiar with these candidates and they become objective, any person. So they would rather change you and you go to a new ground and with a new instruction. So RDC is actually acting as military deployment. So these things you see also in Electoral Commission, they were also cadres. And that is the unfortunate part where we are going. Before, we used to have an Electoral Commission with even known opposition leaders, like I'll tell you, Robert Chitariko, who was a prominent DP, but a commission of Electoral Commission, in his own right, an objective person. When such gentlemen were removed who had a right mind, who were so professional, who some of them had worked in previous government, they are civil servants, they were removed. That's why now they put the word Independent Electoral Commission, because they knew the commission is no longer independent, so they want to put the word.
But that was a conversation that came out of the Citizens' Compact on Electoral Democracy, including the level of an Electoral Commission chairman being a High Court judge.